If you can't sit with your own thoughts, you're not in control. Your habits are. Most people don't even notice how much they run from silence. The second things slow down, they grab the phone, turn on the TV, or scroll through something meaningless. They avoid boredom like it's a bad thing. But here's the truth, those quiet moments you keep skipping are the exact moments you need to get your focus back. That's where your real thoughts come up. That's when your mind resets. This video is about the art of productive boredom. Reclaim your focus one moment at a time. It's not some trick. It's not about motivation hype. It's about getting honest with how you think, how you live, and how you respond when life gets quiet. Because how you use your small moments decides everything. If your mind feels loud, tired, or out of control, this will help you slow down and finally take back your focus. Chapter 1. Stop chasing noise and feel what your mind needs. If there's a pause, even for a few seconds, the mind reaches for the phone. We stop drinking noise. If there's a pause, even for a few seconds, the mind isn't constantly entertained. We start to feel lost. But I want to tell you this. The mind isn't constantly entertained. We start to feel lost. But I want to tell you this. The problem isn't boredom. The problem is how we respond to it. Boredom isn't the enemy. It's actually a doorway. But most people are running so fast, chasing noise, they never get close enough to open that door. And why are they chasing noise? Because it gives them an escape, an excuse not to sit with themselves, an excuse not to feel what's real. Because when you stop the music, when the background noise goes quiet, what's left? It's you. It's your thoughts. It's your doubts. It's your dreams, it's your regrets, and most people aren't ready to face all that. So they run to something loud, they run to something quick, something that gives them the illusion that they're busy, productive, or important. But the truth is, distraction is cheap. It's easy to find. It takes nothing from you at first, but over time, it starts draining your attention. It starts weakening your focus. And before you know it, you're living your life reacting instead of thinking. You're existing instead of building. You're filling your hours with stuff that doesn't move you forward in any meaningful way. You want to reclaim your focus, but then you have to stop chasing noise. You have to stop giving in to every little distraction. You have to build the strength to sit in silence and actually hear yourself think. Because when you do that, something changes. You start to feel what your mind really needs. Not what it wants in the moment, not what it's been programmed to crave, but what it deeply, honestly needs. And do you know what your mind often needs? A speed, clarity, rest, direction, purpose, a reset. But you can't get any of that in a noisy environment. You can't find yourself while running from yourself. You need to pause. You need to sit with boredom. You need to allow that uncomfortable silence to do its work. Some people think that being bored is a sign of laziness. No, sometimes boredom is a sign you've been moving too fast without purpose. It's your mind's way of asking you to slow down and reevaluate. It's asking, are you still heading in the right direction? Are you still aligned with what matters to you? Are you living with intention? Or are you just filling time? When you stop chasing noise, you give yourself a chance to hear the answers to those questions. That's how you reclaim your focus, one moment at a time. Now, I know, it won't be comfortable at first. Most people feel uneasy in silence, but that's the point. That's where growth starts. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. Growth happens when you lean into what you've been avoiding. When you're constantly consuming noise, your attention becomes shallow. Your creativity suffers. You can't go deep on anything because your mind never gets the space to breathe. But when you sit in that quiet space, when you allow boredom to stretch out and settle, you start to think differently. You start to reflect. You start to ask better questions. You get ideas that weren't available when your mind was clouded by notifications and fast content. And most importantly, you get honest. You get honest with yourself about what's working and what's not, about what you've been avoiding, about what you truly want. You see, boredom is not the problem, it's the teacher. And most people are failing the lesson because they won't sit long enough to learn anything. You've got to be stronger than the urge to escape. You've got to learn to stay. Stay with your thoughts. Stay with the discomfort. Stay until the fog starts to clear, because if you don't stay, you miss it. You miss the clarity. You miss the focus. You miss the breakthrough. The world will keep offering you noise. It will keep telling you that every moment should be filled, that silence is empty. But the truth is, silence is full. It's full of answers. It's full of strength. It's full of direction. But only if you're brave enough to sit in it. Now, I want to talk to you straight. If you can't be alone with yourself, you'll never be in control of your life. If you can't pause for a few minutes without grabbing your phone or turning on something just to fill the silence, then you're not choosing your life. You're reacting to it. And that will cost you. Not all at once, but little by little it chips away at your ability to focus, your ability to decide, your ability to lead yourself. And that's what this is really about, self-leadership. Because no one's coming to fix your focus. No one's going to create the space for you to slow down. You have to do that. You have to protect your time. You have to protect your attention like it's your future. Because it is. Start small. Start with 5 minutes a day. Sit quietly, no phone, no distractions. Just sit. Feel the discomfort. Feel the urge to run. Then stay anyway. You'll learn more in that quiet space than you ever will from endless scrolling. And as you stay consistent, something powerful happens. Your mind gets stronger. Your focus gets sharper. You begin to notice things. You begin to see how much you were missing when you were always chasing noise. You begin to use boredom as a tool instead of fearing it. That's what productive boredom is. It's not wasting time doing nothing. It's using quiet time to listen, to reflect, to choose your next move with clarity. It's how strong people rebuild their focus. It's how anyone, no matter where they are in life, can take back their power. You don't need another app. You don't need another hack. You need to stop and feel what your mind actually needs. And most days, it just needs you to slow down. You don't have to live on autopilot. You don't have to keep running. You can stop, you can listen, you can think. And from that place of quiet strength, you can make decisions that actually improve your life. Stop chasing noise. It's not helping you. It's distracting you. And life is too short to live distracted. You've got dreams, you've got goals, you've got people counting on you. But more than that, you've got yourself to show up for. And the only way to really show up is by getting quiet enough to hear what matters. Reclaim your focus. One quiet moment at a time. Chapter 2. Choose boredom over chaos to rebuild inner control. Most people are living in a constant state of chaos, not because life demands it, but because they've gotten used to it. They don't know any other way. They wake up, rush into the day, flood their minds with noise, and call it normal. The moment there's a gap, they fill it. The moment there's stillness, they panic. They confuse movement with progress. They confuse urgency with importance. And slowly, without noticing, they lose their inner control. They live based on pressure, not intention. But here's the truth. Control is not found in noise. It's not built in chaos. It's not developed by doing more than you can manage. Real control begins in the quiet moments. It begins when you choose not to react, not to reach, not to escape the boredom, but to sit with it and let your mind settle. That's when your power starts coming back. People think boredom is a waste of time. That's because they've never really used it. Most of what we call boredom today is just a lack of distraction, and in that space, your real thoughts start to surface. You start to realize how scattered you've become. You begin to feel the weight of how far you've drifted from clarity, and it's uncomfortable, because it exposes the parts of you you've been neglecting. But that discomfort is the beginning of control. When you sit with it instead of running from it, you start to take your attention back. You begin to choose your thoughts instead of letting them bounce all over the place. You start to notice what matters and what's just noise. Choosing boredom isn't about doing nothing. It's about doing what's necessary to get your mind back under your command. It's about saying no to the chaos that's been consuming your time, your focus, and your peace. It's about creating space so that your actions come from intention instead of anxiety. People will say, "But I don't have time to be bored." That's not true. What they mean is, I'm afraid of what I'll feel if I stop. They're afraid of slowing down because they don't know what will come up. They're afraid of not being busy because they've attached their worth to productivity. But running faster doesn't fix the problem, it makes it worse. And one day, it all catches up. The stress, the overwhelm, the lack of direction. That's the cost of chaos. If you want to rebuild your inner control, you have to stop feeding the chaos. You have to stop saying yes to every little thing that asks for your attention. You have to put space between you and the noise. And that starts with choosing boredom. Not by force, but on purpose. As a habit, as a discipline. Start by creating 5 minutes a day where you do absolute